We were taught if we saved ourselves, if we were, a lady in the streets, a freak in the sheets, that we would find this perfect guy. He will sweep us off of our feet and we will never be single because we're a good girl. Y'all, they lied to us. Like, they lied to us. Yo, party people, it's Ashley of SingleWomanChronicles.com, where I encourage single women to be the best version of themselves through healing and avoiding certain pitfalls in dating, relationships, and in love. And today's episode is brought to you by my book, How to Ex Your Ex, a guide to getting past unhealthy relationships. It's time to end the agonizing cycle of unhealthy relationships. Most people struggle with breakups because they just don't know how to start the healing process. How to Ex Your Ex is a step-by-step guide on moving past unhealthy relationships. Renew your strength and find happiness by walking away from relationships that no longer serve you. Start fresh by exing your ex. Learn how to stop the overwhelming thoughts of your ex, get rid of the feelings of regret and shame, eliminate the crushing feelings of rejections, be at peace with your decision to leave, and be hopeful that there is a better person out there for you. All right. You can get How to Ex Your Ex at Amazon.com, books on Google Play, Apple Books, and it is also available on Audible if you're not really a reader. All right now. So today's topic, I feel like it's long overdue because why nobody talk about this? And if they are talking about it, I haven't heard about it. So I'm going to talk about it. Do you guys feel like being a good girl, that culture has ruined us? Meaning, back in the day, before we got to this age of booty, 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 booty rocking everywhere, sex, 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 everything is like quick, fast, in a hurry. It seems like, chicks who just out there are winning. And we were taught growing up to be good girls. Do you feel like being taught to be a good girl and to do X, Y, and Z, and then you will receive this great guy, and then y'all will live happily ever after? Do you feel like that ruined us? I'm going to answer the question. I think yes and no. I think it's 50% yes, it ruined us for sure, and 50% no, it did not ruin us. And I'm going to explain more on the matter. I know this episode gonna slap because every time the episode slap, I hear all types of things outside just interrupting the sound of what I got going on. But it's cool. We just gonna ride with it. Okay, I'm gonna jump straight into the topic. So I gotta preface this by age because I am 34. I was in high school between 03 and 07. And around that time, everyone was taught to be a good girl. Now, being a good girl is a subjective term. What exactly did that mean for me? Being a good girl for me, the way I saw it, was a girl who has a low body count. She doesn't really date around like that. She don't have a rotation. She's just like dating one guy. She puts all her eggs in one basket. She's seen as she's the girl that's always in a relationship with one guy. And then when she's single, you don't hear her dating anyone because she's basically waiting on this perfect guy to come along, sweep her off her feet, and then she'll date him and only him forever. And so that is what we were taught. And we were taught this in movies, I believe, heavily, because I have a whole podcast episode about how like these romantic movies ruined us because they ruin our expectation. So we were basically taught by society through media, through our mama nims, through our daddy nims, through our cousin nims, that if we are a good girl, then we will receive a good guy, right? That's what we were taught. We were taught if we saved ourselves, if we were, a lady in the streets, a freak in the sheets, that we would find this perfect guy. He will sweep us off of our feet and we will never be single because we're a good girl. Y'all, they lied to us. Like, they lied to us. Let's tell the truth. They lied to us, okay? We was lied to. All right? Okay? So me in high school, I'm going to keep it a buck. I wasn't taught about dating because we At that time, I'm from Mississippi. Mississippi parenting is very authoritarian. I think that's how you say it, where you do as I say, not as I do. You do what I tell you to do. You don't ask me no questions. You don't talk back. You don't be in grown folks' business. You don't be worried about grown folks, nothing. You go to school and you worry about your books and you get good grades and you shut up. Okay? That's how I was raised. So we didn't talk about dating. We didn't talk about the experiences of dating and all of that stuff like that. So my only role models were my friends around me as well as TV. So you watch these TV shows, and I remember TV shows like Sister Sister, the Parkers, Moesha, you know what I mean? Like you see these examples of, okay, if you're a good girl in the show and you go to school, you do your grades right, you don't mess with a lot of boys, that's not your focus, you mind your business, you ain't out here having the sex, you save yourself, and then there's a guy that's going to come along and you guys are going to fall in love and live happily ever after. That's what I thought. In high school, I was a virgin until I graduated. So that was like my goal in life, like to be a virgin. But around me, of course, they was having sex and stuff, but when they were having sex, they were like in committed relationships mostly. So that was the background of what my experience was. Now, when I got to college, of course, it was a whole nother ball game because everybody horny. So you just, a little bit free. And then I became free. My mom was like a drill sergeant. So I got a little taste of freedom. So that was my first time really, getting out there and being able to date, being able to like freely experience, because my mom was so strict. She really did not allow me to date until my senior year in high school, which I think is outrageous. I'm talking to someone who has a daughter right now and you are trying to keep her from dating, maybe because of the mistakes that you made in your past. Don't do that. I'm going to tell you why. Give her practice under your supervision, because what's going to happen is, if she's attracting men already. She's attracting little boys already. That's what I meant. They like her. She's beautiful. She's gorgeous. And she needs that practice, because what's going to happen is if you don't teach her now, she's going to learn too late. Now, senior year, I feel like, especially in this society where so much information is available, she going to sneak behind your back and do it anyway. I'm going to just keep it a book. She going to be talking to little boys. You just don't know. And she's having to sneak around, and then she really don't know much about it. And she don't know how to govern her emotions, how to move in dating, the tricks of these men out here, these little boys out here who trying to play her. She don't know that stuff. So when she gets to college or get outside of your supervision, she gonna bump her head all over the place. I learned by error. The reason I can have a blog called Single Woman Chronicles is because I was so green that I fell for 90% of the things I shouldn't have fallen for. And I bumped my head so many times. And I needed someone like me to tell me and explain to me, what is dating? How am I supposed to move in dating? What does dating look like? When I like a guy, how do I approach that? How do I know if he's a good guy versus a bad guy? I didn't know none of that, because I wasn't guided through the dating process. So I'm not telling you when to allow your daughter to date, but I am asking you to consider that if they don't learn it from you, if they don't learn, because learning is a process, right? You get the knowledge, but then you have to apply it. So you give them the knowledge, but the application of the knowledge, to me, is best under supervision. That's why doctors, they learn it in class, but then they have to go through years of residency under supervision before they can actually work on a body and heal that body, because it's better under supervision than tossing you out there. So I'm telling you, I feel like, personally, I ain't got no kids, so I can't tell y'all. I'm just saying from my experience, I wish that my mom would have sat me down, told me what dating was, what it meant, mistakes she made, and if she didn't know, have me talk to somebody else so I can learn a little bit. And then allow me to date maybe at 16, in my junior year at least, and under her supervision. So I would have understood more, because I was so stupid in college and in my early 20s. And I just got my heart broken so many times. And I picked the wrong guys because I didn't know how to pick right. I didn't know who to pick. I was just going off of my stupid attraction. And that was dumb. I know I'm off on a tangent, but I feel like this is gonna help somebody. But yeah, anyway, back to good girl, being a good girl culture ruined us. So anyway, in college, I had this taste of freedom, and I I had friends around me. It was 50-50. Some of them had a roster, and then some of them were like the serial monogamous that was always in the relationship. So I did notice that the girls who were perceived good girls, because that's another thing why good girl is so subjective, because people will look at a certain female, and because media says, oh, this girl looks safe, this girl looks like she's loyal and she won't cheat on you, and that she is a good girl, then I'm going to date her. So that's unfair, because people will stereotype how you look and say, oh, they can't be this because they look like that. For example, I say this all the time. I've been thick my whole life. I've been thick since 16. Like, I literally woke up one day with hips and a butt. Like, literally. And this was before being thick and BBL culture was a thing. This was like when thin girl, we were coming out of like that thin girl era, going into more of the thickness because the video models and stuff were popular. But I wasn't thick when that was like a thing that people wifed. It was more of a sex symbol type thing. So I was sexualized a lot. In high school, I remember teachers on staff flirting with me, asking me when I'm gonna be 18. I remember grown men, I would say I'm 16, and they're like, oh, in Georgia, it's legal to, date someone older and such and such. And I'm just looking at them like, you guys are disgusting perverts. So watch your daughters too. Like, make sure they know that these dudes are perverts. It's not flattering when someone 10 years older than you in high school wants to date you. That's disgusting. But anyway, so I felt like I wasn't seen as a quote unquote good girl because I was thick, but that had nothing to do with me. Like, literally had nothing to do with me. Like, I can't help that I'm thick. You know what I mean? And also because I did not have that talk with anyone about like how to move dating. When I was in college, I was dating everybody. I didn't care. And yeah, I was a little bit messy with it. Like, I was dating guys, in the same clique, in the same fraternity. Like, I didn't care. And I'm not telling nobody to do that. But I'm saying I didn't know. But back then, like, this whole good girl culture was a thing. Like, even if men would date the good girl but cheat with the bad girl, like, it was still like this thing. Okay, so I know I'm kind of all over the place, but I'm gonna bring it home for sure. But anyway, I feel like perception on the outside looking in, I think some guys didn't perceive me like as a good girl. I don't really know what I was perceived as, honestly, but I wasn't, because I was dating a lot. Like, I was kind of like all over the place. I had a roster. Like, it just was what it was. I wasn't sleeping with everybody, but I was dating. And if you're dating multiple people, they're going to assume that you're sleeping with them. So it's just like, whatever. It is what it is. So I wasn't like perceived as a good girl, but I was one. Because ultimately, I've always been like a person that wants to be in a monogamous relationship. I just didn't know how to get there. And I always chose wrong back in the day. Like, I chose the worst dudes to choose. And I've always been like that person. If I'm with you, I've never cheated ever. Like, if I'm with you, I'm with you. Right. So I was one, but at the same time, like, I wasn't perceived as one. So it still backfired either way, child. So it's just like, what? And I'm still single, but it's like, okay, that's, But my issue with good girl culture is, the reason I say 50-50, right? 50% it did ruin us. And I'm going to tell you why I think it did. It ruined us due to our expectations. We expected that if we followed certain rules and standards of dating, that it would yield us a relationship that would last forever. And that is not true. There is no particular way to date that will absolutely guarantee a result, a certain result. Like, you can legit have a one night stand with somebody and end up marrying that person forever. Or you can legit wait a year to have sex with someone, and then they have sex with you and they will leave you the next day. So there's no guaranteed formula for, if you are a good girl, then you will always have positive results in dating. That is not true. But there's another end of the spectrum. Hoes is winning. I know you've heard it, and I probably know that you felt like that. You felt like hoes is winning. When I say hoes, I'm not calling nobody a prostitute. I'm just using the colloquial term for, hoes. And when I say that, I mean like the women who are freer, the women who dress sexier, who just put it all out there, who sing Pound Town on the regular, and they're trying to go to Pound Town on a regular. That's who I'm referring to. The women who did not follow the good girl model. And you see them and you're like, hold up. Because I keep seeing this on social media. You're like, hold up. So I'm out here saving myself for the right guy, going to a 9 to 5. I ain't got no OnlyFans. I ain't outside like that looking for dudes to pay for me and all of this stuff. And I'm over here alone. But then the girls outside who always on vacation. I don't know how they stay on vacation like this. Always on vacation. Their hair always done. They always got like a 40-inch bust down, which is very expensive. I don't know how they paying for it. Nails always this long, and them nails cost a lot of money. And they out here with a different dude all the time. Dudes out here paying for all they stuff and they bills and whatnot. It seemed like they winning. What am I doing wrong? So I think in that aspect, I saw this. Let me go back. I saw this girl on Twitter get ate up. See, this is why I'm afraid of Twitter. Because like Twitter, they don't let you live. Because you never know the response you're going to get. Like, you can post something and you thought you ate. You thought you made a great point. And they will eat you up in them comments. They will be like, you sound stupid. You are dumb. What is wrong with you? So anyway, this chick, she was duetting a TikTok post. So basically, this girl was with her man. And she said something sexy or whatever. And then the girl comes on and she's like, see, I don't understand stuff like this. I got my own money. I got my own place. I work, I'm very successful. I don't cheat. I don't do this. She was just running down her good girl roster. And she was like, and I'm still single. But women like this who put sex out there, who advertise what they're about to do to their man, they stay in a relationship. I just don't understand it. And so a lot of people, of course, were like, you sound bitter. And I feel like that bitterness comes from that expectation that if you do X, Y, and Z, you're supposed to receive that good result. And that's not the truth. It's just not, right? And it's just unfair. And I feel like a lot of women feel bitter in that because they've done the right thing, quote unquote, because that too is subjective. They've done the right thing and they have not yielded positive results from doing the right thing. So now they feel stuck. They feel abandoned. They feel like the world has duped them, lied to them, and X, Y, and Z. And partially it has. I'm going to agree it has, right? So I think that's how it ruined us because you have this young lady and I felt my heart goes out to her actually because I know that bitterness has nothing to do with that woman in that video with the guy. She's bitter because society told her to do something. She did it and she didn't get the result. For example, society told people of my age who was in school went to college in 2007. They told me if I went to college, I would get out and get a great job. But as soon as I got out of college, we were going through a recession. I didn't get a good job. I had to get what was out there. And so that's why I'm never paying student loans. Like, I don't care, fam. Like, you lied to me. You think I'm going to pay you back when you lied to me like this? No. Like, I'm not. I know that's like something else, but it's a great analogy because when somebody tell you to do something, you do it and you don't get what you supposed to get, yeah, you should be pissed. You should be angry. So I understand why she's bitter, but here's the perspective. I say it did not ruin us. Okay, here's the other end of that spectrum. I feel like we shouldn't date in a box, but I do feel like we should date in the box of the result that we want. What I mean is, out here right now, I think we have a great dating scenario going on right now, because whatever you want to be in, you can be in. Like, there is everything under the sun out there right now. There is polygamy, there are open relationships, there are closed relationships, there are thruples. It's all kind of stuff out here, right? So if you're honest with what you want, if you're honest with your standards, what you will accept, what you won't accept, what you truly desire in your heart, if you really can grasp that and like really know what it is, you can go out and get it, I believe. And I feel like you should date in the manner of whatever your goal is. Me, myself, my goal is to be married in a healthy manner, in a monogamous marriage that will last forever. And I like a more traditional marriage, meaning like not traditional in the sense of gender roles. Like, no, I mean traditional in the sense of monogamous. We are married under God. We don't have the threesomes and all of that kind of crazy crap. We're not bringing other people in, like that old school. We married. It's you and me. We in this to win this forever, ever. So because I want that, I date in the manner of that, meaning like, I'm only dating if I feel like I'm going to marry you. Like, I'm only dating you if I feel like there's potential that will lead to that. But if I wasn't looking for that, if I was looking for a man to just pay my bill, if I wasn't dating for love, I would be dating in a different way. I would be outside. Like, I would be outside. I do be outside. Like, don't get me wrong, but I'm outside in the sense of, it's more of a freedom. Like, I'm not outside looking for nothing. I'm just outside having fun. Like, I'm at festivals. I do solo trips. I go, to restaurants, to bars and stuff, and just I'm chilling, right? But if I was looking for like a dude to sponsor my life, I would be at golf courses. I would be in the club at certain times so I can get pulled into the section so I can, finesse some stuff. Like, I feel like we have to date within the goals and the parameters that we have. So if you know you want a monogamous relationship in a traditional sense, you should maintain that quote unquote good girl mindset, because most men who want that traditional thing, they have a traditional mindset. So they want a woman who isn't out here like that, who isn't thought bopping around. She not pound towning. They want that, right? So it doesn't ruin you, right? And also, I think you have to understand what you know fuels you versus what does not. For me, I know Ashley so well that I know casually dating does not fuel me. It drains me. It drains every piece of my soul, okay? I am not emotionally or mentally equipped to handle casual dating because I know the desire of my heart is to be in a monogamous relationship. So I do not pursue casual relationships because that is not the end goal that I want. So for me, I don't care how much money is in going out here, bending over, twerking a little bit for a little change or whatever. It does not fuel me personally. Like, that does not make me happy. I date for love and connection. I don't date for money and support in a financial situation, or even to be traveling or doing all that other stuff. Like, that doesn't fuel me, but it may fuel someone else. If you know that fuels you, date that way. Like, for real. If you know you love when a dude's spending money on you and he taking you on vacation and you ain't got to put no emotional anything into it, then yes, go out here, pound town it up, city girl it up, get flued out, baby. Do it. If you know that's your goal, if you know that's what fuels you. But I think too many times we get jealous of these women who we see on Instagram, who always on vacation, who not at work, who guys are taking care of them. We'll get jealous and envious of them, but we don't know what they're dealing with behind the scenes. Like, I love the TV show Issa Rae has called Rap-ish. And I loved how one of the cast members on the show, she is like the chick, she got a OnlyFans, she does makeup, she has a daughter, and like, it shows you the back end of that stuff. Like, it shows you that, like, yeah, she got a lot of followers, her hair stay done, makeup stay done, she stay fly, she got a BBL, she looks good, but she's out here with the OnlyFans. She goes to New York. This guy like basically tries to get him and his friend to run a train on her. She didn't agree to that. She gets kicked out of nowhere, like in the middle of the night. She has to find somewhere to stay. She's struggling to pay bills. She's chasing her baby daddy to pay her bills. Like, you see the behind the scenes of that. Like, you don't know what's really going on the other side. And then even sometimes it is hunky-dory, but that person may be expecting that girl to just shut up and take it, as far as like the cheating, the multiple women. Or even like if he works a lot, she's not a priority. If you're okay with that, then cool. I'm not okay with that. So I think we have to really measure we have to look at the full scope of things, right? So we have to date in a way that matches our goals. If your goal is to date someone for love, for connection, for quality time, for just like true intimacy, the good girl era did not break you. It didn't ruin you, because you're still in that parameter. Because again, I feel like most men who are looking for that traditional situation, they're looking for a girl like you. But if that's not what you want, and you want to be out here loosey goosey, and when I mean loosey goosey, I ain't meaning like just out here, busting it wide open or nothing like that. I mean, like, if you just have more of a casual mindset, you have more of a, I go with the flow, I don't need these parameters, then date like that. You don't have to be a good girl to get that. Just do what you want, because society, let me tell you something. What I've learned about men is somebody's son gonna like it. Whatever kind of woman you are, you can get a man. Period. Whatever kind you are, you can get that. You don't have to fit in a certain type of box in order to get that. You don't have to do a certain type of role. I hate when I see TikToks and like dating coaches saying, okay, if you do step 1 to 5, then you're going to meet your soulmate and do. How you know? How you know? How you know? How you know? And then some people, they do have like, oh, my success rate is this, that, and the other. Okay, that's pretty good. I feel that. And I'm glad that you're able to reach that. And it does happen sometimes when you like search within yourself, find out certain things that may be blocking you from like finding love. But what I'm saying is there's no exact formula for every single person walking this earth. There isn't one. Like, you just gotta go with the luck of the draw and just be yourself. I think the ultimate thing to do is to learn who you are, love who you are, and then date from that point. Because when you learn who you are and love who you are, then you're going to date in that parameter to find what fits you. You're not going to be following societal's standards and what they're telling you to do. No, because you know you and you love you and you need somebody else to love you too. So you're going to date within those parameters. So did good girl culture ruin us? It ruined our expectations, and it brought on a bitterness that, dang, I did all these things right and I'm still single, or, I'm divorced now, or it didn't work out with this person. But don't get bitter about that. Like, life happens. Life happens. You know what I mean? That happens to the other end of the spectrum too. So don't feel bad about that. Pick yourself up. Understand that there are no certain rules you need to follow to do anything. Just love who you are, learn who you are, and just go from there, child. And if you know that you want like a traditional whatever, then you're better off maintaining the standards that you have. And also, if you know this casual date stuff ain't for you, you're better off in the parameters that you're in. Because I will say that being a quote unquote good girl does protect you if you know that you ain't out here like that. If you know you ain't like that, you ain't built like that, I ain't built like that. You know you ain't built like that to just be casually dating and risking it all. Stay in the parameters, because it's safety. It's safer up in there, okay? All right. Because listen, these days, I'm not saving myself for marriage or like just not out here dating and wilding out like that because society told me to. I'm doing it because I know what the other end of that spectrum looks like because I've done it before. Like I've been out here. I've casually dated and that junk just didn't serve me. So now I date in the parameters of the goals and the expectations that I want, and I date for what I know will fit me. And that's just what it is. All right, y'all. Until next time, hopefully this helps somebody. Bye.